In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the Paradox Zentangle. It's one of my favorites because it's simple to draw, very effective, and you can create countless different variations of it. So grab a Sharpie and some paper and let me show you how to draw it. So this is the Paradox Zentangle. Essentially, it is lots and lots of straight lines drawn in such a way that the appearance of curves start to drop into your artwork. Now, depending on what type of grid you use in order to draw these lines, you can get loads and loads of different variations. So let me show you the basics of how to draw the Paradox Zentangle. We're going to start off with, obviously grab your Sharpie, we'll start off with a square. Doesn't have to be a square, we can do this in triangles and all sorts of shapes, but you'll see that when you experiment with it a little bit later. I guess there's only really one rule for the Paradox Zentangle, and that is you're always drawing thin triangles. So if we're going to start from this point here, in this corner, what we're going to do is we're going to draw a thin triangle up to the top there. Then what we're going to do, where we finish that line, we're going to start from the finishing point. So we're going to draw another thin triangle across the side. And again, where we finish that previous line is where we pick it up from, another thin triangle down to the bottom. And then finish off with one more thin triangle. It's important to remember that not to go over any of these lines. So stop when you get to a line. So you can see that's the process. We're going in a clockwise motion. So I'll just quickly now fill in this box and you can see how much it twists around as we're just drawing these straight lines. Now I've done some YouTube videos which show you this process time-lapsed, but I'm doing this real time. It's a good exercise for practicing straight lines. Gets a little bit trickier as you get to the end. Just going to carry on doing these small triangles until there's nowhere else for you to go. So we finish off with a little tiny triangle right in the middle there. But you can see how those straight lines going all the way around in that clockwise motion, getting smaller and smaller and smaller, have created this like spiral effect. Now where it becomes really interesting is if we do another square right next to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to mirror that pattern over here. So if you remember last time, we started at that corner and we went clockwise. So this time we're going to start at this corner and go anti-clockwise. So again, it's those small triangles. Until you do a full circuit. Keep on repeating that process until the whole thing's finished. You'll find it much easier if you're able to move the paper around as you're drawing. I'm keeping it in one position here just so that it's easy for you guys to view and see what's going on. Again, as we get to the finish, one little tiny triangle in the middle there just to finish it off. And so now you can see how doing those two squares together and mirroring the pattern has created this really unusual kind of pyramid shape in the middle here. And of course, if you did that and you did it the other way around on both sides, again, you'd get another different shape. If you started from a different point, you'd get another different shape. So just two squares together in loads and loads of different starting points and directions, that's what's going to give you all these interesting pieces. Where you can make your artwork more interesting is by using triangles. Generally, these always have to be straight edge shapes to really work properly. You can use curves, but we'll stick to just the straight edges. So again, triangle in there. Let's try and draw it with a triangle. Same process of just drawing small, thin triangles. We could do another one coming off here. See how I started wrong there? I started with the fat end of the wedge. You always want to start on the point there on the corner and come out into a fatter end. What I'd suggest now is that you go and take a look at my other YouTube videos on the Paradox Zentangle, just to give you an idea of the starting grid that you can use. But then go and experiment. You know that process, that one simple rule of just thin triangles and repeating that process over and over again until you get these curves. So experiment, see what kind of shapes you can come up with. Don't forget, tag me in anything you do. If you put it on a story, I'll give you a shout out as well. So it's always good for me to see what you're doing based on what I'm teaching. So yeah, please tag me as much as you can, and I'll see you in the next video.